Hey, good evening, folks. Okay, let me stop my screen share for a moment. Let me go on full screen and let me go into speaker mode. Here we go. Okay, let me just get my screen up. Okay, perfect. We're all ready to go. Okay, Tammy, are you all set? Are you ready to go? Your video is still off.
Hey.
So, as many of you are aware, Tammy and I are just getting ready to depart for the Philippines for probably the 21st time, the 21st or 22nd time. And for the past, 16 years or so, Tammy, I would say at least. And so just wanted to mention why I'm mentioning this is we're not going to be having some Go for Diamond calls while we're traveling. So there will be 2 sessions that we will be hosting over there. And I'm telling you, when we're in the Philippines, they work us every single minute of the day. So we're going to have a great time while we're there. But in the same time, I know we'll be busy, keeping in mind that we'll be in a different time zone with a very, very long flight. So, but it'll be fun. So we'll be back. We're departing on Wednesday, which is October 18th. We'll be commuting until the 19th. We arrive there. Your time will be arriving. Basically, you'll be like Thursday morning or something like that. And then we begin on Saturday. It's going to be a very big event. It's their I think 14th or 14th year celebration. So we're really
50.
excited. So today's training topic, as you saw the flyer that was promoted and it was recently just put up as before I stopped the screen share, has to do with building a growing culture. And that's something that Tammy and I have been doing for years. In fact, it's one of the reasons why we have done so well in our business all over the world. And we want to give you 5 different principles. We don't have anything to share with you as far as visual. We're going to be sharing with you. We'll be interacting with you because I know that many of you also are seasoned. You have some experience. I know that some of you here on Facebook Live actually are joining us. I want to thank you for joining us here live. And we want to interact with you as we share these 5 principles are very, very important. And I know that as you start hearing the topics that we're going to cover, you say, oh yeah, I know exactly what what they're going to talk about. But the point is we want to interact with you. So we want you to start. We're going to turn around and talk about one of the principles that we want to cover. And then we want you to share your thoughts, your ideas. You can come in on the screen here. I'll just make sure that you can unmute yourself. You have complete control. We'll just make sure that I'll pin your picture here so we can see you. Or you can just mention it on the chat if you prefer that. So because we want this to be interactive, and building culture is what network marketing is all about. It's the foundation of our ecosystem. So Tammy, I'll just turn it over to you to share your thoughts.
Yeah, like Chris said, we're going to share all the key points and think of things that would help evolve an organization, your team, if you have team members as well, things that you've done, because I know a lot of you are leaders and you've done things that have really worked. And often we need to hear it to start thinking about what are some of the things that really worked for us that could help the organization go into momentum again. How do we do this? And so these 5 key points are really, really good to help you start creating that platform, that plan, that goal to go into momentum. Because when you're in momentum, it's fun. The culture is excited. People do more for a team than they'll actually do for themselves. And you'll notice that when you start to go into momentum, when you start creating some team goals and of course personal goals, but when you make it about the team, then you have a lot of fun together. And at the same time, you're all growing together and earning together. And that's really, really important.
I totally agree, Tammy. And in fact, I've just posted the first topic over here is where when you look at leadership and communication, that's one of the first principle of building culture and creating a growing culture. It's all about leadership and communication. So right now, there's a few of you here. And what first comes to mind? feel free to raise your hand if you just want to chat, or if you want to post it in the chat. So I'm just going to pause here for a second. We'll just keep talking until you have an opportunity to process. So looking at the very first topic of leadership and communication, on the practical aspect of this, what comes to mind to you? So feel free to post it or raise your hand, so so you can share with us before Tammy and I share our thoughts.
Oh, go ahead, Jess.
Oh, did Jess raise her hand?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
You rose it that way. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I see. I didn't do it with a little.
Yeah, a
emoji.
digital, right? Otherwise, I may not notice that your hand is up.
Okay.
So that'll be
Got it.
helpful.
Okay. So for me, when I connect with people, it's about being excited and being enthusiastic. And that comes from the belief that I have that what I have to offer is something totally amazing and will change your life on so many levels. So that's what it is for me.
Cool. Appreciate that. Awesome. Anybody else? Linda posted accountability and relationship. Absolutely. I mean, this is actually one of the topics we're going to be covering. It's mainly on the second portion on team building and bonding, but you're absolutely correct, Linda. It is also part of the communication. So appreciate that. Anybody else? Yes, I'm waiting on you. Maybe I could just actually pick one of you. It's entirely up to you. And feel free to raise your hand, because we know that you know, right? You might just not be used to interact in these webinars and love to hear your feedback. So while you think, yeah, go ahead, Tammy.
Bill got his hand up.
Alice? Okay, perfect.
Bill.
Oh, is it Alice or Bill?
You can't see him? He's like, hello,
okay.
I'm here.
I got you, Bill. I got you, Bill. 1 second here. That's why I'm looking for the digital hand up, but that's all good. Okay, Bill, you're up.
Okay, you want digital? Okay, I'll do digital next time. It's basically, I think, inspiring and motivating others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, to be available to others as well.
Bingo. Bingo. And we'll cover that on number 3. And you guys are dead on, because these are the basic principles. Absolutely correct. Totally agree. Okay. Thanks a lot, Bill. Really appreciate that. I'm going to bring Sylvie. Just a sec. Sylvie, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Oh, no. Yeah, you're right there. Okay. Okay. Come on up.
Yeah. So when I'm thinking about leadership and communication, especially, when I think about the business, it's like leading by example, but like showing other people what is actually working currently now. So leading the team is like steering us in the right direction, because everything is always changing and changing so fast. So it's good to have leaders that are actually in the game and leading us with the ways that are actually working today. So to me, it needs good communication and great leadership. Big
time. Well done. Well done. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else that wants to share?
Lucy put hers in the chat.
Okay. Integrity and showing that you're there at all time. You cannot be the one quitting. That is an understatement. That's an understatement. And on that note, and this is really, really important. When it comes to leadership and communication, you see, what happens is when you get into momentum, I'll use this side here because you guys are mirror. So when you get into momentum, you have this graph that goes up and goes up and goes up and goes up. But there's another line that's forming where on the bottom here, what's happening is you also have what we call the leadership momentum. So you have the momentum of the business, and then you have the leadership, and then you have the leadership here at the bottom. And what's happening is that eventually momentum slows down and then it starts curving down. Okay. And what's going to happen? It's going to be curving down as high as your leadership. So if your leadership, okay. So if your leadership, for example, is here, okay. So you look at the line that's been drafted over here. Let's say your leadership is here. What's going to happen is as the momentum goes down, it will stop where the leadership is. And that's where your income will be stabilized at. So leadership is absolutely critical. So as you build your business, which is very, very important, is you want to seek the leaders within your organization. And you have to, and there's some, in fact, there's a training that Tammy and I are going to be sharing with you when we come back, which I know we touched in, I think it was last week or the week before, I think, and on some of the characteristic of a leader. But very important to understand is if you want to have an income that is sustained into your network marketing business, you have to make sure that there is a certain levels of leadership. If there's no leadership, then the momentum will keep going down to its core. So this is really important. And you touched on this. So when it talks about leadership and communication, is the very first thing in building culture is you want to make sure that there's always a platform where people could be informed of upcoming calls, upcoming events, upcoming presentations. There's a constant communication to let the team know about what's the next step, what's going on. In the same time, there are strategies, right? Systems. And this is one thing that's very, very important. As you build your business, we know that there's some documents that are available. There's some tools like, for example, Dropbox, and there's different groups like Telegram and Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp. These are all the different communication tools that you can constantly invite your leaders, your team members into. And this is where you will constantly feed the information to make sure that your downline and your organization is always in a position to be in tune and aware of what's coming, what's happening, what are the new announcements, what's changing. Something is happening in the company, some things are going on. There's a constant communication channel that you can connect your team. This is all part of creating culture and growing and creating a growing culture. Is a constant communication. And the more you participate, the more you support the group. If you stand on the sidelines, it's all cool, it's all good, but it doesn't contribute. It doesn't contribute to the organization and the well-being of the organization. So it's important that there's constant posts and feedback and constant reminders of what's coming. And this is basically the leadership and communication. So there's the levels of leadership that you have within your organization, and you want to breed leadership. You want to encourage leadership. You don't want to do everything for everyone all the time. It's very interesting sometimes that, again, without pointing any, we see leaders that have reached some very high level in network marketing in their company, but unfortunately, things happen and their income gets significantly slashed in pieces down to almost nothing. Why is that? Because there was no leadership that was formed over the years that got you into this momentum. So if you're the type of person that does everything for everyone all the time, what's going to happen is when things gets hard and things gets difficult and there's no leadership and you get tired, then everything falls. So this is the portion where number one is the leadership in the communication. Absolutely critical. Number two, Tammy, sorry, was there anything else you want to add to this?
Yeah, when I look at leadership, because we've been in the industry for a long time, and sometimes you see people that will surpass a leader, which is phenomenal because they've really, really developed the leader within. They've built the culture within their teams, and they've been an influence within their organization. And, some leaders have caps, right? And they don't go any further, whether it's in network marketing or in any other kind of business, right? So it's important that you don't depend on other leaders, but to build the leader within. That's why that session that we did, Chris, was so important, is to develop your own influence within your organization. And what can you do to develop that? Think of some of write down some of the characteristics that you are very, very strong at, and some of the that a leader would need. And what are some of the characteristics that you could improve on? And these are all the things that Chris and I have done over the years, and we're still growing and learning, you guys. And over the years, what are some of the things that have brought us to where we are today, right? What are the things that we have done to bring people up in the organization? And what can we do today to make it even better and stronger and to go into momentum? Because that's the real key. You'll never be in momentum all the time. There's periods of momentum that you'll go into, and then it like Chris said, it might go down a bit. It gets stagnant. There's no campaigns happening. Some people have quit the team. People are discouraged. Like, there's things that happen, and leaders need to pick up on this stuff and to find ways to bring more excitement, do something new, do something fun. Sometimes you just got to come together and have some fun. And I know that in Canada, I mean, we do that from time to time. Can we be better at some of these things? Absolutely. Absolutely. And it takes a team to create that. So it's important to come together and do all of these things. Like I was telling Chris, now that the ATP, we don't have it yet in Canada. Did anybody get their order? I know we didn't. And going to Philippines is going to be so hard.
No, it's not going to be hard.
But we were talking about the next incentive. What can we do to get everybody on board? We were talking about ATP. We were talking about what are some of the things that we can do. So that would be a great incentive for November, and guaranteed. As a team, you come together, you create all of these qualifications, ideas, all of this stuff to get everybody on board with. Everybody's got ATP on them now. Everybody's going to be doing this. Everybody's going to be doing that. And then everybody goes into momentum that month, right? If you do a 30-day campaign, those who are actively doing it are going to go into momentum for sure. For sure.
Perfect. So let's move on to the second point, where it's the building, team building and bonding. And in fact, and Tammy, you were touching on that. And I know that, when you do an in-home and you do a presentation format and everybody brings a bit of food. I mean, I look forward to eat the food. It's one of my, it's one of my joy in life. It's to eat food, right? But this is what makes, again, it's another way of creating, it's another environment to bond while we're actually doing business. And I know in Canada, within the Ontario region, we've done well with that. And this is something that needs to continue, because people enjoy going there while getting informed on what could be an opportunity, or if they're already in the business, then they can learn from it. So and what's really important in there is to always form that sense of unity. This is the biggest glue to the team culture. It's create unity, and be mindful of chit chats that could occur that is negative comments on someone's this or someone's that, the gossip, right? These are things that you want to avoid like a plague. As much as sometimes as human beings, we're conditioned to do these things, we need to resist the temptation to do something and always reinforce it. And if someone happens to drop something, maybe by mistake, it's just a comment that they don't realize that, and again, in a constructive and positive way, is to reinforce, maybe that's not the right place to talk about this. That's what leaders do, right? That's a sign of good leadership. So you always want to have this environment of unity, collaboration. Again, people support what they create. That's when we do a conference call and we want your voices to share your thoughts. because people support what they create. And the moment you voice your thoughts and your ideas, you're part of the creation of whatever it is that we're trying to build, we're trying to put together. And this is the reason why often we've done things like that. So we want to transcend that to you, so you're aware of, okay, how did Chris and Tammy makes 5-figure a month all the time in these kind of businesses? Well, this is why. These are the things we're telling you what we do. And you want to have the 5 digits in your monthly income in your business. Well, that's what you need to work towards. And it starts with you supporting the group that you're part of, right? In the same time, you may create your own, but you don't disconnect from the group. You stay plugged into the group, but you have your own group. And that's what we recommend. What are your thoughts, Tommy, on the team building and bonding?
I think it's really important that we're back out there, you guys. The pandemic has changed a lot of things. We got comfortable. Let's face it, we've all got comfortable. I don't know about you, but I got track pants on the bottom with the Zoom, right? You dress at the top, you got track pants on the bottom, there you go. And people get comfortable being home. If you agree with that, you got so comfortable being home, and it's like you have to push yourself to get out. Put a 1 in the chat if you're that person right now. Put a 1 in the chat. Let's be honest. Because I think every single one of us are pretty well like that, right? So we got very comfortable at home. And to go into momentum, it requires to be uncomfortable. And it's a decision that you'd have to make on getting out there. Start thinking of some creative ideas that you can do to build up the culture within your group. It doesn't have to be always a leader doing this, you guys. Think of all the people within your organization that might be stagnant now because there's nothing going on for them to be excited about. Right? So what are some things that you could bring to the table that can create some excitement just to bring them back together again? What can you do? It could be just something fun to do. A comedy cabaret. Bring everybody back together. Get all the ones that have been inactive since through the pandemic, and everybody just get out there. I know we have our core group in Canada, and some of you have your core groups in the US, and I know some of you are on Facebook, and I know that everybody got quite comfortable through the pandemic. But what are some things that you can do that can create some team building and bonding? It could be just the bonding activity first, then you book a Saturday event where everybody's going to come together. Let's get our vision boards down pat, because we haven't talked about vision boards in so long. Let's just come together and create that. Like, what is it, you guys? What is it that you think would be something that would pull a team together and pull people together and bond to work towards some goals and dreams and activities? Hands up or chat, either way.
Oh, Alice, okay. You raise your hand. 1 second. Okay, Alice. Yeah, go ahead, Alice. Josh, you next. Oh, you're muted, Alice. I'll send an unmute message. Here we go. You should be able to unmute now. You should see a message. Here we go.
There we go. I know by past experience, the vision board is a great activity to do, but it has to be fun. Like when we did them, like we shared between the group, some of the people that we're surrounded with, just say, I want to lose weight. Well, then everybody was looking for pictures in magazines that would relate to what you wanted to do. And we had so much fun. And after we had done the vision boards, we shared what everything that was on our board was all about. Mm-hmm. And then we teamed up with someone that would encourage us and remind us at least once a month on what some of our activities that we wanted to accomplish. So the vision board, I think, is more efficient if they're sustained at least monthly, to be reminded that that activity on your board is, to be looked and worked towards them. For instance, I had a client that wanted to go to Montana, and his dream was to own a Palomino horse. Well, every time I sent him a Christmas card, I had the map of Montana, and I would draw the little horse where we're going forward and reaching that goal. And to him, that was just beyond. So I think to achieve our goals way faster is for them to be sustained by someone else that, even though they're part of our team, they're not fully leaders yet to 100%. Well, we can, as human beings, we can encourage ourselves.
Brilliant, Allison.
Excellent.
And this is absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. And this is what we want you to recognize is for you to take those steps. You don't have to make all this money to be a leader and to be accountable to someone else, which kind of brings us to the next point that we want to cover here. Oh, Jasmine, you had your hand up.
Yeah.
Yes, Jas, please go ahead.
Well, like Tammy was saying, was just to get together and have some fun. So I was thinking, in the fall, it's such beautiful time outside with all the leaves that are changing colors, is to get a group together and just go for a hike or go for a bike ride. And people could even bring their kids with them. And the other thing is, I just heard today that close to Hamilton that they were doing hay rides, so that you could go to a pumpkin patch and you can go on a little wagon. It was like a tractor that had a flatbed with some stacks of hay, and just go for a little hay ride. So do something fun like that first, just to connect with everyone. And then I agree that the thing about getting together and doing our vision boards and dream boards is awesome. So yeah, I thought, take advantage of the fall. Let's get out there and have some fun.
Brilliant, Jess. Thank you for sharing.
Excellent.
And folks, make sure that there's some of you that.
Barbara Ann has something.
Oh, Barbara Ann. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I remember you raising your hand a while. Okay, 1 second. Here we go, Barbara Ann, you're on.
Hi, just quickly, you could get in touch with all of your people, those who you haven't talked to in quite a while, and just organize like a Zoom call and just make it very low key, like a party, kind of a meetup kind of thing. And just everybody have their glass of wine and just chit chat and kind of introduce everybody again. And hey, what have you been doing the past year? You just kind of get everybody all caught up, and then make another Zoom call after that, and just kind of to start forming your next steps as to what you want to do.
Brilliant. You guys know your stuff. This is
Yes.
actually brilliant. Thank you for
Yes.
sharing. Appreciate that. So let me bring up to the third point, which it's goal setting and motivation. And this is exactly what we were just talking about. You see, that the fact is it's common sense. And that's what I meant to you, is a lot of the things we're going to cover is common sense. And the fact is that you want to do some work towards goal setting. And again, that's exactly what we've done. I remember with Max, with the step up to goal and road to diamond, and many of you have attended those things. That's exactly what we did. There was one night where at one point we were doing our dream boards, and we had a printer there. We're looking for pictures. Again, I know we're repeating things, but this is exactly what this is. This is number 3, which is goal setting and motivation. And as you're setting your goals, and Alice talked about it, is to work together. Don't just kind of rely on Chris or Tammy or whoever to organize all of these things. It's just, it's difficult to micromanage, right? But you, within your organization, within each other, you can create these accountability partners, right? So you can set yourself some specific goals, specific targets. And if it's a weight goal, if it's a money goal, if it's a a learning goal in reference for you to increase skills in whatever aspect that you want to grow, and you can create some accountability from each other and negotiate among each other to find these ways to keep each other accountable. See, all of these things, these three topics we just talked about, there's two more I want to cover here, but these three topics that we just covered are actually the foundation in creating culture and having a growing culture, regardless of what's happening in the world, right? Don't let the world dictate your present and your future. You dictate your own future and your own present. The world will adjust itself. It's the way the world works, okay? So from there, this is the point that's very important. Number three is setting goals and in creating some accountability or a system in place to be able to maintain a motivation. Because as human beings, we easily get demotivated, right? We get out of breath. At one point, we're tired and we want to wind down. And when we wind down, you don't want to wind down for 6 months, because whatever you worked on is going to go back down to what it was before you started. So it's okay to take breaks, but you can't take breaks too long, especially if you're at the beginning stage of building something. You want to maintain that. So this is kind of the goal setting and motivation. And I know that we've kind of touched on that without even bringing the subject, because it's common sense. Any other point, Tammy, you want to add?
Well, when you're talking about goal setting, one of the things that I'm thinking of right now, based on, kind of where everybody's at, and is to the foundational rank, the core rank for Max is a bronze. That's the core rank, is to reach the core rank and then develop that core rank within the organization, to work with your teams and develop those people into bronze associates. And then you break that down. So what do they need to do? What are the activities that need to be done for somebody to reach that core rank? What is the qualification of the core rank, right? So you got to break these things down within the organization. Then that would be one activity that you would want to do, is to create that fundamental rank that everybody gets to get to that next level. Because if you're a bronze, you can certainly teach somebody else how to do it. Okay. And then it goes from there. When you're a silver, you want to build up bronzes. And then you build your 2 bronzes and you have the volumes, you go to gold, right? So you want to keep going up the ladder through the ranks, because people get excited to reach ranks. They get excited. It's a great goal to do, is a rank advancement campaign. I think that should be one of the next campaigns. Going into the new year, it should be a focus, right? Getting to that next level is getting to that next rank, is to get yourself qualified at the rank that you're existing, and then build upon that. So yeah, just kind of throwing it out there. That's a great goal to accomplish.
So let's move on to the fourth one. And again, we're touching on it, right? Which is training and development, right? Just recently, you guys have seen an email. There's a few of you that decided to be part of it. And maybe some of you are already part of it, is the GoPro Recruiting Challenge. Why did I chose this one? One is because everything we talk about is embedded in this training and more. And the fact here is, we've already created a Facebook group, which I'm noticing that some of you are participating, you're responding, you're collaborating in this group. This is a private group for the folks that got this package. And when we come back from the Philippines, we're going to heavily sink into all of this. And I really recommend that you watch part 1 and part 2 if you have that. If you don't, let us know. Folks, this is $17. Don't nickel and dimes these basic principles, basic trainings, what we call the money-making activities, especially for $17. It's a really good deal. And then from there, what we're going to be doing is keeping this accountability that Alice was talking about a moment ago, to make sure that you follow through on the things that you say you're going to do, the things that you learn, so we can help you get to that next level. And I know some of you are thinking, well, it's kind of hard to do this when there's a lack of products, blah, blah, blah. I'm aware. We're all aware of the problems. They're there. But the problems will eventually go away. And I can tell you that there are some people that are still staying the course. People are ordering their authorship. Yes, the product is in back order, but they want to maintain their business, knowing the product will arrive, which we know now the ATP is coming in, the Switch coming in, the Celgivity is coming in, the Max One, and so forth. So
the US are receiving them already.
Absolutely.
Yes,
if it's
so
in the
coming.
US, 2 weeks later, it's in Canada. It's just the way it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Canada will have to wait 2 weeks. So from there, and then after that, everything is started distributing. So again, it's all based on how do we adjust to change. But number 4, which is important, and where are my notes here? Number 4 is that you constantly want to focus on skills and shaping up your skills. Again, this is all part of team culture. You know, we talked about the leadership. We talked about the communication. We talked about team building and bonding and goal setting and motivation, right? All of this combined creates a compound effect that will create the culture within an organization. And then you start adding the trainings and the content. And that's why Tammy and I, we spend a lot of resources to rub shoulders with the inner core network marketers, so we can get the best of what's current right now based on the times, so we can bring this to you, right? You don't have to pay the high ticket items that we're paying to rub shoulders to get access to these tools. But that's number 4. And very important is you need to participate. It's okay to purchase it, but knowledge on ice doesn't do much. You have to act on it. And Tammy said it earlier, you got to get uncomfortable to be able to get comfortable on a later date. And I assure you that this industry is absolutely wonderful. When you hit momentum, it is very sweet. But to maintain momentum, you got to work on your leadership, because you will only attract people that will relate to you. You know the expression, likes attracts like? That's the point. So if you increase your communication skills, and again, I don't have perfect communication skills, but I can tell you that I have enough communication skills to be able to attract some pretty big leaders into my life. It's not just the way I speak, it's my posture and my conviction when I speak that also determine my leadership. And that's what we want to portray to you. We want to transcend to you as we're sharing this information. Very, very important. Back to you, Tammy.
I think action skill is a big one, because if you're learning something and you're not applying it to get the results, the end result, then you're just learning, right? So you can learn and learn and learn and learn and learn and learn all you want. But if you're not out there doing the actions, it's the practical, you guys, that you develop. I can tell you that. It's the practical. When you're out in the field doing the work, you learn and you unlearn. Trust me, you'll go through both in that just connecting with people. So it's those actions every single day is going to determine where you're going in the business. That's exactly what it is. And I like the direct point, because that's how we evolve, is when you just say it the way it is. Action, 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 action. How many of you could increase your action in the results of building activities? How many of you could increase your action another 10%? 10% from what you're doing right now. How many of you can do that?
Put a 10 in the
10%.
chat. Put a 10 in the chat
10%.
so we can confirm.
10%. So think of what you're doing right now. Can you do 10% more? And what does that 10% look like right now? Because everybody's at different levels. On this session, in the Facebook group, everybody's at different levels. You know your life. What does that 10% look like? What can you do in that 10% to get you back to a rank or to get you to a new rank? What can you do? It's always better to get to a new rank. What can you do? More prospecting. Excellent. Following up.
More inviting.
More inviting.
You guys are dead on.
It's as simple as that. Think of all the people that you've talked to in this qualifying month so far. 2 weeks in? All the people that you talked to about Max and the products. Can you double that? Can you double your number? You know your numbers. Can you double that number? Yeah. Yes. Definitely. And all the people that you talk to, can you follow up and move them into a decision in the next 2 weeks? It's exciting, you guys. We got products. This is exciting. What a great way to follow up with people, right?
You know, the greatest asset that we have with Max International is our products. They are so good. They are so part of people's lives. And we know how the world is and how toxic the environment is. We know we got to clean those damn cells. We know it. So that's one of the greatest assets that we have. Regardless of the challenges we face, people always want them. Hang on to that, because this is a belief you can trust. And because of that, you will always have an income. You will always, okay, of course, it will fluctuate. Some will leave. It's totally normal. But I'm telling you, folks, people come back for this all the time. I see it over and over and over and over. You would believe the demand out there for the Celgivity. So the moment things starts coming to a new beginning, once there's a lot of things that Max is going to be announcing soon, they're just still dealing with the administrating nightmare that they have to go through to get all of this done. And the supplies is there. Oh my God, watch out. So the fact is, you can rest assured, this is that foundation that most companies they do not have. We do. Hang on to that. So the last point I want to cover here on the fifth strategy that we want to talk about, common sense. Again, what's the purpose of this call? How do we build culture? How do we build growing culture? So again, to summarize, we talked about leadership. We talked about the communication. We talked about the team building, bonding. We talked about the goal settings, the motivation to stay the course, no matter what. We talked about improving on your skill, the training and development. But after that, that's the cherry on the cake. People die for it. Baby cries for it. We know what it is. Recognition. People want to be recognized. As much as people say, oh, no, don't put me there, don't put me there. Deep down, it's a human trait. People want to be noticed. Nobody likes to be transparent. Nobody wants to be transparent. Everybody wants to know that they matter. So that's why recognition is such an important part. And if you avoid the recognition, then you're what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say the word ripping. You're basically taking away the element that is the foundational element to build a culture within your organization.
Yeah, because you're inspiring your team to get there. You're inspiring your team knowing that you got there, that it's possible for them to get there too. So that's why a big part of recognition is critical. Do it more for your people than you do it for yourself, to show people that it's possible. People need to know that it's possible. If nobody's ranking, then nothing's happening. And that's when you got to sit back and you got to rethink the strategy. You got to regroup. And these are times that are necessary to get back into some growth. And this is the perfect time for this to happen. Summer's finished. Kids are back in school. And this is the time to take it into another level. November, December, right up until usually 2 weeks into December, that's when people start slowing down again, getting ready for Christmas. But this is the time, you guys. This is a time to create some type of momentum so that when you do hit January, you're not starting from nothing. You're starting from excitement, foundation, getting together with your teams for Christmas, celebrating, getting together for New Year's or throughout the holidays, at least at some level. And then January hits, bang, campaign. So we did well with our weight loss campaign, really well. And thanks to Sylvie and Mireille and Janet, and there was one more that was supporting that. Josie was supporting that as well. But the campaign that they did, I mean, the volumes went up. The growth happened. Why? Because it's vision board. It's goals, right? People want to have something new, something exciting. They want to accomplish something going into 2024. Let's face it, 2023 was it was challenging, but that's okay. That's okay, because 2024 is another year, right? So we can make that change right now. And how do you do that? Everything that we're going through together right now in this training. Mm-hmm. And I recommend that you get together, because most of you, and even the ones on Facebook, most of you have somewhat of an organization. Even if they're not actively building, get together with them. Get together with them.
Yeah, and recognize that how long they've been a customer, how long they've been there, how long they've been, what they've achieved. And this is very, very important. And it's the combination of these 5 concepts or principles that we just talked about that will maintain culture and it will create growing culture. It's normal to have some moments that things are a little stagnant. It's okay. It's called life. But for you to be aware of all these things and not just to wait for someone else to come up with ideas, but you can initiate those ideas. And you'll find that people will want to participate, especially if you have a strong belief on what you're trying to accomplish. And we have a wonderful team here. People will support you as you come up with these ideas. So that was number 5, is recognition and rewards. And again, I want to underline the importance. When you have reached a certain level of recognition, don't hide saying, well, I don't want anybody to see, or it's not fruitful for your business to hide like this, because you could be an inspiration to someone. And modesty, there is a certain attraction to modesty. Yes, I get that. But if you constantly hide to try to be showing modesty, you're not leading by example. And unfortunately, people don't know what you've achieved, and not knowing what they've achieved, then there's nothing for anybody to hang on to aim for. Well, I want to get what she or what he has achieved so I can have the same thing. This is really important that you understand that if you want to have a growing culture within your organization. So it's not one that's better than the other. It's a combination of those 5 steps or concepts that are very important to execute on. And you will see that the compounding effect of those is what will maintain a really good income for you as you are building an environment of family. For example, Tammy and I are going to the Philippines probably for the 20th, 31st-ish time, whatever. I stopped counting. The point is, we're going there. It's like we're going to see family. This is how it feels to us. We're going to see family. We've known each other for 16 years, right? So it's, and this is what happens today. So this is why the recognition, you know, the team building, the relation, all of these things are instrumental to your business, but it's more than a business. It's an ecosystem. It's a family environment, and people feel good in that kind of environment. And that's why network marketing works and will always be around.
I have to give credit to the Philippine culture, Chris, because they do so many things, you guys, that build culture. They do so many things, and we see them do it all the time. Obviously, there's so many beaches there, so they do a lot of beach activities, and everybody brings food. They play all kinds of games. They dance. They do karaoke. Oh my gosh, they do so many things, so many fun things. So when we go there, we just have so much fun. It takes us out of our comfort zone of being at home behind a screen, right?
Well, you know, Tammy, actually just recently, I know that we've done some in-homes, and it's a lot of fun.
I know.
I'm enjoying this. I'm really, really enjoying that. And this is the great things that we have here in Ontario, in Canada. I say Ontario because Canada is a pretty big piece of land. So, you know, so talking about, that's where we live. And obviously, you know, we know each other. And so this is why you guys are here. So these are the kind of things that are important. We're talking about the Philippines, but it also happens right here at home. So we want to congratulate you on that. And we need to continue doing this. I mean, the pandemic has created such a long gap that it takes years to get back into it. But we need to do that again. And we've already started. And again, well done. So I guess, Tammy, we can end on this note. Is there anybody else that would like to share? And don't feel that you have to, but I just want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to share their voice if they wanted to share your voice. Just click the little, you know what, there's a reaction button there. Look, I'm raising my hand. I can remove my hand. I can raise my hand. I can remove it. Okay. So if anybody wants to share last words, please raise your hand. If not, we'll all good. We'll leave it on this note. While you may be doing this, let me just finish on this note is we're not going to be having a Go for Diamond session for the next 2 Mondays, simply because for us, we're going to be traveling. We're going to be in planes. It's a little bit chaotic, our schedule, and to try to be available at 8 o'clock in the morning, where we don't know if the internet will actually be good enough to be able to support and everything else. We figured we'll get a 2 weeks break. And in the meantime, folks, works on some of the things that we talked about. Go back on the Active Team webinar. You can listen to past recorded calls. For those of you that bought the recruiting program with Eric Worre, please take the time, maybe on this Monday night, instead of being here, run your, watch the part 1 and part 2. And we're posting some comments in our Facebook group. And make sure that you take the time to post it. If you'd like to get this program, let us know. And it's part of every emails that comes out. I think most of them will have the option for you to click some buttons. You can actually buy it there. But if you don't have the link, let us know. We'll send you the link. And it goes right to the Eric Worre company and then the GoPro company. And then from there, you'll have access to this training. And I think it's unlimited. I don't think there's a limit. So you can have it forever. Okay. So I guess we'll finish on this note, folks. Thank you so much. And we'll see you on November 6th will be our next call. Okay. Until then, folks, I hope you're going to do your homework. I hope that you're not going to fall asleep, but you're actually going to be taking some positive action towards your developing your skills in light to what we just talked about this evening.
And of course, getting together with your people. Alice, this is a great idea. I highly recommend you set a Saturday and all the people that you brought into Max, just bring it back together, have a conversation with Scott and just bring it back together and see what you can do to get people excited again. Jazz, pull something together. You've got a large organization, pull something together to create culture. It'd be great for us to see you guys on Facebook doing some stuff.
I know that Bill and Linda are great hosts.
Yes.
You guys do phenomenal.
Yeah, Ryan and Paul. Yeah,
wonderful
you guys can all
food
come
with the
together.
eggs.
Hey, yeah, for sure.
Okay, go ahead, Alice.
To comment on the vision board, I would recommend that you invite family members or friends and so on and so forth. You've been trying to bring in them, because when they see that activity and they're into it, how much fun it is, I think it breaks the ice of what
I totally agree.
Very true. Yes.
Totally agree, Alice.
and
Okay,
Everybody drinking ATP and
and also I would, for probably a lot of people don't realize that out of the population in North America, 1% are millionaires or billionaires, whatever. 5% are okay in retirement by age 65. And now it's higher and that leaves 94% that are dead flat broke. And professionals are in there. And a lot of professionals don't realize. And when I do presentation, when I used to do presentation, that was my key thing.
Brilliant. Yeah, and you're so dead on. Absolutely dead on. Thank you for this, Alice. So everybody have yourself a great rest of your evening. And we will see you on November 6th. And Tammy, we will be connected the whole time, as you know. We're on WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, Telegram. So that's not going to change. It doesn't matter where I am, as I'm even if I'm on the moon, as long as I have the internet, we'll be plugged in. So everybody have yourself a great evening. Okay, bye everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.